Once, a man says to his friend, "I get angry with people very quickly. I feel no one values me." His friend smiles and says, "Maybe you have not given something that is worth valuing." Sometimes we think people ignore us. They don't listen to us or give us the respect we want. But have you ever thought that maybe we have not become the kind of person people want to connect with? The truth is, people behave with us based on how they feel, not on what we think we deserve. It is not important how much you know someone. What matters more is how you make them feel. This book, The Art of Dealing with People, teaches how to improve our thinking and words so that people are naturally attracted to us. Because success is not only about skills, it is also about making people feel good. Welcome to your Hindi audiobook channel. Let's go to Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Treat people the way they want to become. Think about this. You meet someone and they just give a small smile. No warmth, no interest. You feel like leaving, right? Now think about another person. They are happy to see you, they listen to you, they make you feel important. You would like to meet them again. This is the difference between a deal maker and a deal breaker. Les Giblin says you don't need any script or trick to connect with people. You just need to understand that everyone wants importance. Everyone wants to be heard, understood, and appreciated. But what do most people do? They talk only about themselves. They listen only to reply, not to understand. If you change this habit and make others feel special, you can win any heart. Example, talk to a shopkeeper. If you only ask for a product, the talk ends. But if you say, "Your shop is very clean, I like it," his attitude changes. He sees you not just as a customer, but as a person. These small things make relationships strong. First principle, make every person feel important. You can do this only when you truly care, not just about their words, but their feelings. This is not magic, it is simple understanding of daily life. Simple rule, people remember how you make them feel, not what you explain. This is the real start of dealing with people. Chapter 2. Everyone needs a mirror. Have you noticed? In a crowd, people look for reactions. They want to know what others think about them. Every person sees themselves through a mirror, and the biggest mirror is your behavior. If you ignore someone, they feel weak. If you praise someone, they feel strong. Les Giblin says people become what they are treated like. Think about a child. If you say, "You always make mistakes," the child will become like that. But if you say, "You are smart, you can do it," the child will try. This works for adults too. When you make someone feel smart and capable, they slowly become like that. That is why some people build strong relationships, because they show others a version of themselves that makes them feel good. So, if you want people to connect with you, show them the version they like about themselves. Relationships don't run on logic, they run on feelings. And feelings grow when you lift someone's confidence, not break it. Treat people the way they want to become. Then you don't just make deals, you build connections. Chapter 3. People change with respect, not arguments. If you want to tell someone they are wrong, what happens if you say, "You always think wrong," or "Your thinking is useless"? Even if you are right, they will not listen, because you hurt their respect. So Les Giblin says, people react not because of logic, but because of how they feel. People feel hurt when their ego is hurt. A person understands more through respect than through logic. If you want someone to listen to you, first make them feel that you value them. For example, your friend always comes late. If you say, "You can never come on time," he may listen, but he will feel distant. But if you say, "I know you are busy, but if you come on time, it will be more fun," he feels respected and understands your point. This is the art of dealing with people. Say things in a way that protects the other person's dignity. Then your message works and the relationship stays strong. It does not mean you should lie or speak in fear. It means if you want to change someone, first make them feel they are not small in your eyes. Les Giblin says you cannot lift someone by putting them down. So if you want change, start with respect. Chapter 4. Even if the other person is wrong, let them finish. Think about this. You are talking to someone and they say something you think is completely wrong. What do most people do? They stop them in the middle. No, this is wrong. Listen to me. Your logic is bad. But Les Giblin says if you want better relationships, let people express themselves fully. People become rude when they feel no one is listening to them. Being wrong is not the biggest problem. Not being heard hurts them the most. For example, your colleague is explaining something and you know it is wrong. If you stop him and say, "This method is useless," he becomes defensive. But if you listen for 2 minutes, then say, "I understand what you are saying. I have one idea. What if we try this?" Now you listened, did not interrupt, and still shared your point. This is intelligent dealing with people. Les Giblin says every person has an invisible sign, "Make me feel important." The easiest way is to listen. Listening does not make you lose, it brings people closer to you. Next time someone says something wrong, stay quiet and listen. Sometimes silence creates the strongest impact. Chapter 5. If you want people to stay with you, make them feel good, not just right. We often think if we are right, people will respect us, but Les Giblin says people connect with the heart, not the head. People like to stay with those who make them feel important and good, not just those who speak the right things. Think about two people. One always points out your mistakes. The other has less knowledge but smiles and appreciates you. Who will you choose to sit with? Most people choose the one who makes them feel valued. For example, your friend shares something and you say, "I already knew this." You may be right, but how does your friend feel? You made their sharing feel small. Les Giblin says if you want love, respect, and support, make people feel special, not that you know more than them. People remember your smile, respect, and attention, not your logic. So if you want real connection, listen, appreciate, and give some patience. Respect is more powerful than knowledge. Chapter 6. What people feel matters more than what they think. Les Giblin says people may forget your words, but they never forget how you made them feel. It is not important how perfectly you spoke. What matters is how the other person felt after listening. For example, a boy says to his boss, "I am working overtime and finishing my tasks, but I get no appreciation." The boss replies, "We pay salary. What else do you want?" The logic may be correct, but a person is not a machine. The boy wanted to feel valued, not just paid. Les Giblin explains that people make decisions by feeling, not just thinking. If someone feels good with you, they will forgive your mistakes, but if you make them feel small, even your right words will feel wrong. So, in communication, just saying something is not enough. The way you say it, your tone, and your emotion matter the most. When you treat someone with respect, they naturally become soft towards you. Next time you talk to someone, focus on the effect of your words, not just the meaning, because people connect with the heart, not the mind. Chapter 7. When you listen, people open up. Think about this. You are sharing a problem, and the other person keeps interrupting you, talking about their own experience or giving advice you don't need. How does it feel? Lonely, angry, or sad? Because they did not really listen to you. Now, think if someone listens calmly, does not interrupt, and just says, "I understand. Keep speaking." You feel lighter, right? Les Giblin says people trust you when they feel you understand them, and the first step to understanding is deep listening. Example: your friend is talking about work stress. Most people quickly say, "This also happened to me." But if you stay quiet, nod, and listen, they feel closer to you. Why? Because today, Everyone wants to speak, but very few people truly listen. People open up when they feel they are being heard, not judged. And when someone opens up, a real connection is formed. Next time, don't listen to reply, listen to understand. Chapter 8. Never start with criticism, blame, or complaint. Think about starting a talk like this. You always make mistakes, or you never do anything right. How will the other person feel? They will become defensive. They will stop listening or argue back. Les Giblin says if you want to improve someone, never start with criticism. People naturally try to protect their respect. If you put them down, they focus on defending, not understanding. Example, your friend finishes work late. If you say, "You are always late," the situation gets worse. But if you say, "When you do things on time, everything goes smooth," they understand without fighting. People improve when you lift them, not when you shame them. So when you give feedback, make the person feel valued, not small. Simple rule: if you want someone to grow, first make them feel safe. Chapter 9. Sometimes you must protect the ego. Sometimes a person loses even when they are right because they hurt the other person's ego. Les Giblin says people work on feelings, not facts. If you embarrass someone, cut them in public, or make them feel weak, they will not listen to you even if you are right. Example, you tell a colleague, "Your report is wrong. You need to learn again." You may be right, but now it becomes an ego issue. They will try to defend themselves, not improve. But if you say, "Some points in this report may not match the requirement. Maybe we can improve it together," your message is clear and the person is not hurt. Sometimes you don't need to prove you are right. You need to choose the right way. If you want people to listen, make them feel safe and respected. When you protect someone's ego, they cooperate with you, not compete. Dealing with people is not about logic, it is about feelings. If you understand this, you can turn any conflict into a connection. Chapter 10. When someone does not want to listen. Have you talked to someone who says yes, but to everything? You say something and they cut you immediately. No matter how strong your logic is, they are not ready to listen. Talking to such people feels tiring. Les Giblin says when you directly contradict someone, their mind shuts your words. Why? Because most people take disagreement as a personal attack. They feel that you are saying they are wrong. Even if your intention is good, they take it personally. Example, your friend says, "Hard work has no value today." If you say, "No, that's not true," the talk stops because you cut his point and now he listens with ego, not logic. But if you say, "I understand why you feel this way, but maybe some people still grow with hard work," you show disagreement without conflict. Les Giblin says it is better to make people think slowly than to silence them. If you want to explain something, first let them speak. Let them express fully. Then repeat their point so they feel heard. After that, share your idea like you are adding, not cutting. Every person deeply wants to be understood. If you give that feeling, they feel close to you. True influence means the other person does not feel resistance. They feel in control, not forced to change. If you learn this, you can talk to anyone without fighting, shouting, or stress. Simple rule: listening is more powerful than speaking. The person who respects others' words is also respected. This is a powerful way to deal with people, even stubborn, defensive, or arrogant ones. Chapter 11. Make people feel they are winning. Every person wants to feel capable and successful. Les Giblin says if you want to connect well, make people feel they are achieving something. Think about this. If someone works with you and you only give instructions without appreciating their effort, they feel like a tool, not important. Example, A junior works hard, and you say, "This was not possible without you." Their energy changes. Now they work with ownership, not just duty. People perform better where they feel valued and growing. So learn to appreciate even small success. When you make someone feel they are winning, they connect with you and try to improve more. This is the real way to move forward with people. Chapter 12. Don't let criticism break you. When someone criticizes you, your peace breaks first. But Les Giblin says don't fear criticism. Most people criticize not with deep thinking, but because of frustration, insecurity, or ego. Sometimes people pull you down because they cannot go up. Example, you do something good, like a presentation or helping a friend. Someone says, "You are just showing off." Does that mean it is true? No, but if you take it to heart, you start doubting yourself. This is the danger of criticism. It breaks you from inside. You must understand that everyone has their own thinking. Not every opinion is true. Sometimes people criticize just to feel superior. If you try to explain everything or accept every opinion, you lose your inner peace. So what to do? First, don't take every criticism personally. Don't connect every comment to your value. Second, check if the criticism is useful or just to pull you down. If it is useful, thank them and learn. If it is not, smile and move on. You don't need to prove yourself every time. Les Giblin says what others think is their view, not your truth. Use criticism as a tool when needed, but most of the time, ignore it. If you pick every stone to throw back, you will never reach your goal. The people who truly care about you, they don't speak to pull you down. They speak to support you. Everything else is noise. The real strength is to understand this and stay quiet. Chapter 13. The biggest skill is listening. Many people think speaking well is the biggest communication skill, but the truth is, the best conversations happen when the other person feels heard. Les Giblin says most people don't really listen, they just stay quiet until their turn comes. They listen to reply, not to understand. Example, your friend shares a difficult time. You interrupt and say, "This also happened to me," and start your story. You did not listen, you just waited for your turn. Now think, if you say, "I understand this is a hard time for you," and then listen quietly, what happens? Your friend will remember you as someone who understood them. Everyone wants to be heard fully, without interruption. Sometimes people understand their own thoughts better when someone listens without judgment. Listening is not passive, it is active. You leave your ego, your answers, your comparison, and fully enter the other person's world. No training is needed. Just remember one thing. Every person's favorite topic is themselves. If you give them space to talk about themselves, they trust you and value you. If you want people to remember your words, first let them speak. When you give attention, attention comes back. Next time, listen before you speak. Sometimes silence creates the strongest connection. They don't speak to pull you down. They speak to support you. Everything else is noise. The real strength is to understand this and stay quiet. Chapter 13. The biggest skill is listening. Many people think speaking well is the biggest communication skill, but the truth is, the best conversations happen when the other person feels heard. Les Giblin says most people don't really listen, they just stay quiet until their turn comes. They listen to reply, not to understand. Example, your friend shares a difficult time. You interrupt and say, "This also happened to me," and start your story. You did not listen, you just waited for your turn. Now think, if you say, I understand this is a hard time for you, and then listen quietly, what happens? Your friend will remember you as someone who understood them. Everyone wants to be heard fully, without interruption. Sometimes people understand their own thoughts better when someone listens without judgment. Listening is not passive, it is active. You leave your ego, your answers, your comparison, and fully enter the other person's world. No training is needed. Just remember one thing: every person's favorite topic is themselves. If you give them space to talk about themselves, they trust you and value you. If you want people to remember your words, first let them speak. When you give attention, attention comes back. Next time, listen before you speak. Sometimes silence creates the strongest connection. Chapter 14. Stop trying to change people. Les Giblin says, if you want good relationships, stop trying to change people. When you try to change someone, you show them they are not good as they are. If someone keeps telling you you should be like this, not like that, will you feel connected? No, you feel disrespected. Example: if you always point out your friend's bad habits, they will avoid you. But if you appreciate their good side, they may slowly improve on their own. This is human nature. People do what they want to do. So try to understand, not change. When a person feels accepted, they are ready to change without pressure. Simple rule: if you want change, build connection, not criticism. Chapter 15. Win trust before you win people. People think winning means making someone agree, but no one listens until they trust you. Without trust, influence is not possible. Trust does not build in one day, it shows in small actions. Example: if you always point out your friend's bad habits, they will avoid you, but if you appreciate their good side, they may slowly improve on their own. This is human nature. People do what they want to do, so try to understand, not change. When a person feels accepted, they are ready to change without pressure. Simple rule: if you want change, build connection, not criticism. Chapter 16. How to deal with angry people. Talking to an angry person is not easy. They don't want to listen. They are full of anger and pain. Les Giblin says if you argue more, their anger will increase. So the first step is: listen without interrupting and without avoiding. Example: if your colleague gets angry in a meeting, arguing more will not help. But if you say, "I understand why you are upset. Let's sit and talk," the anger comes down. Why? Because every angry person wants respect. Les Giblin says when you make someone feel that you understand their feelings, they become ready to listen. Also remember, an angry person does not listen to logic, they only react. So your response should be calm to neutralize their reaction. If you handle an angry person with respect and understanding, they can later become your most loyal supporter. Anger is a signal that someone was not heard or not understood. So next time someone is angry, don't explain first. Understand first. Chapter 17. When you become better in others' eyes. When people like you, they listen to you more, trust you more, and want to work with you. Les Giblin says you don't need to be perfect, just presentable in attitude, behavior, and style. Example: when you meet a client and say their name correctly and prepare a little, they feel you are serious. People are impressed not by looks, but by your approach. So, improving yourself is not showing off, it is a way to show respect to others. Chapter 18. Accepting praise is an art. If someone praises you and you say, "No, it was nothing," you reduce their feeling too. Les Giblin says receiving praise is also a skill. Example, if someone says, "You gave a great presentation," just smile and say, "Thank you, I'm glad you liked it." This makes you graceful and the other person feels good. In every praise, there are two people, one who gives, one who receives. If you accept it well, you respect them. Chapter 19. How to deal with people who challenge you. Some people always argue, on ideas or on ego. Les Giblin says instead of fighting, handle them smartly. Example, if someone keeps interrupting you, say, "Your point is interesting, let's consider it too." Now they listen, and the talk becomes a conversation, not a fight. People who challenge you are not always enemies, they just want to be heard and respected. Chapter 20. To handle people, first understand them. People are not machines, they need emotional understanding, not just logic. Les Giblin says, feel first, then deal. Example, if a teammate keeps missing deadlines, don't scold first. Maybe they are going through personal stress. When you see a person as a story, not a case, your approach changes. And that is the start of better communication and better relationships. The one who connects with the heart wins hearts. The art of dealing with people is not a book of tricks, it is a simple reminder that every person can be understood if we truly want to understand. Les Giblin teaches how to connect with people, respect them, and build a place in their heart without showing off. In the end, people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. If you want to be a better communicator and a better person, remember one simple thing. Make every person feel special. Then people will always remember you. Thank you for being part of this English audiobook journey.